Chapter 11. Conclusion. 11.1. Summary. Miguel.
Well, Marcus, we're getting closer to the end. It's becoming clearer to me that not eating is actually the body's natural state. Now I'm left wondering, what role do parents play in all of this? Especially the mother, since, after all, she's the one who gives birth to all of us.
Marcus.
To understand what is happening, we only need to observe. I want to quote the French biologist, doctor, scientific researcher, eugenicist and writer, man the unknown, Alexis Carrel, Nobel Prize in Medicine 1912, who left us this very profound observation about the creation of our physical body.
The origin and work of the stem cell is a mystery. It is the cell that initiates the construction of the body, yet it does not originate from the parents.
The so-called seed of the parents, which produces humans, seems to form an electromagnetic central point, zygote, around which condensation of invisible substances forms the cosmic reservoir, dark energy. Ingested foods neither form nor sustain the body's cells, nor do derive from the stem cell, an electromagnetic center of crystallization, a pattern around which cosmic rays materialize into the cells that forms the growing body. One may envision the following analogy. The body builds itself through mechanisms foreign to the human mind. The body is composed of cells, similar to a house made of bricks. But it is born from a cell, as if the house originated from a magical brick, stem cell, that would start making other bricks, seem to come from nowhere. Those bricks do not wait for architectural plans or the arrival of a builder to come together and form a complete house. The same does the body and all its parts. Indeed, the existence of the stem cell elucidates why the human body does not depend on food, and therefore that nutrition is a myth. Many people believe that the mother nourishes the baby through the umbilical cord, specifically through her blood. I invite you again to observe. This raises the question, if maternal blood nourished the fetus directly, would not the mother and child necessarily share the same blood type? And as you know now, you only need to breathe to keep your body alive. The mother breathes for the baby only after a certain number of weeks, when the fetus has transformed into a human body. Nevertheless, the fetus responds to environmental stimuli, particularly to the mother's psychological states.
The cell is nothing. The medium is everything. Professor Dr. Antoine Béchamp, French chemist, doctor and pharmacist.
Going back to your question, what role do parents play? Or rather, the other way around, what role do kids play for parents? I've already mentioned it, but I want to remind it, especially for all parents. The children are the teachers who want to awaken them so they can escape the illusion of life. The words of Jesus are clear, but it seems very difficult to understand them. Be like children. How difficult can it be to take your children as they are, teachers, and return to being children? They can teach them the proper way to play and thus free themselves from the cage. The most important point about being a parent is to be in the being. As I've mentioned before, procreation should not happen between two confused individuals, because confusion begets confusion. Without awareness, they will create another copy of themselves, another emotional addict shaped by inherited fears and unconscious habits. The true responsibility begins with yourself. You must cleanse your beliefs, dissolve your programming, and return to the innocence of the child within. Only then can you even begin to consider bringing another being into this world. If this process is skipped, you are merely fulfilling the inherited father's program passed down by your own parents, and nobody truly wants to replicate that. This is what I call responsibility. Procreation is not simply something shared between a couple, it is an act of cosmic consequence. Every child is not just yours. Each child belongs to humanity, and therefore, the act of creation carries a responsibility to humankind itself.
Miguel.
If eating isn't natural, how did we become gluttons?
Marcus.
I observe two forces at work. The first is the aspect of control carried out by AI. The longer a being remains in this world, the greater the chance of its liberation. So the AI must find ways to limit time, to shorten the lifespan of the human suit. And how is this done? Through food, polluted water, and toxic air, mechanisms that weaken the body and trap the mind. These aren't accidents, they are tools of suppression, meant to interrupt the process of awakening. The second aspect is even clearer. Addiction. The addicted individual lives in dependence, enslaved by the supplier who delivers the substance. Whether the addiction is to food, emotion, distraction, or belief, it's all the same. The addict obeys the dealer. What I depend on governs my life. Getting my drugs often means doing what I'm told. Look at the vaccine example. Why would you accept something you don't really want? It's the opposite of freedom. It's a hidden slavery. Everyone believes eating is a natural need, and so you remain obedient to your provider. I'll answer your question briefly. The masses lack willpower. They do not have free will in any meaningful sense. They live as consumer slaves, obedient not by choice, but by unconscious compulsion. Their unwillingness is the true cause of their gluttony, not just in food, but in all things. The endless craving for more money, more love, more stimulation, keeps them in chains. Desire becomes the leash, and consumption becomes the cage. And that's precisely the key. To keep you as a consumer slave is the foundation of the system. As long as you are addicted to something, you are controllable. Whether the command makes sense or not, you obey, because your addiction controls you. It creates dependency, and dependency makes you vulnerable.
Miguel.
So we shouldn't depend on anything or anyone?
Markus.
That's exactly right. Look at where the most powerful chains lie. The pharmaceutical industry, second only to weapons, is the most profitable system of dependency ever created. What does that tell you? That health is not the goal, consumption is. Wherever there are massive flows of money, secondary interests always want to keep you dependent and in constant consumption.
The ideology of medicine, a fraudulent claim that the world is full of swift entities, bacteria, germs, etc., that attack healthy people without reason, and the result is disease, something so dangerous that it must be fought and cured. Hilton Hotema.
Traditional medicine must finally recognize its mistakes. For example, conventional medicine has the second deadliest disease in the world, after coronary problems. I'm not blaming anyone, but what if conventional medicine, instead of helping, further confuses those who still believe in the myth of external harmful agents? You must recognize that you are in the dark, seeking relief rather than addressing the root of the problem. I quote Hippocrates again,
Best medicine of all is teaching people how not to need it.
medicine knows that it knows nothing and declares as miracles things that it cannot explain, as the following phenomena of the human body.
Homeostasis, the constant balance of chaos, which we provoke through food and emotions. Hemoglobin, with an iron that does not oxidize, but you should also observe how many metals arrive in your body. Glycolysis, with permanent production of ATP, key to obtaining cellular energy, is our source of cellular life and thus the source of our life. Chi, ki, prana, etc. But of course, it manifests the invisible, conscious and universal mind, to the visible.
To close this topic, we can say the following. Many secondary interests are invested in keeping you a slave consumer, dependent not only on substances, but on your own beliefs. The first step toward liberation is to recognize the true and trustworthy source of life, as I've mentioned before. From there, begin to direct your attention to the cause of the interference, the unconscious intoxication you perpetuate. If you begin to understand the perfect state of the human body, then the path becomes simple. Reduce your intoxication to a minimum. Reduce food. Reduce liquids. Breathe clean air. Live simply, like a child, in harmony with the earth. Do this and your suit, the body, will no longer follow the programmed expiration date we call death. You will offer your being the best possible chance to return home.
On bir nokta, iki fops. Miguel.
Listening to everything you've said, I still don't know what I should do now.
Markus.
You remind me of a Chilean friend who once asked me something similar. He said,
For a long time, I've been aware of the holographic program I live within, and I've realized two things. 1. I am not here of my own free will. Someone put me here for their benefit, and they don't want me to notice their manipulation. That's why they erased my memory. 2. If this is an illusory limbo in which we don't need to eat, talk, or do anything, then what do we come to? This doesn't make sense. We have always been told that we are powerful spirits, but that is false because if it were true, we could improve our stay in this place. But it's not real. The usual charlatans, politicians, oscurates, Freemasons, etc., always rule us. If ego and matter are so damaging, why did they create them? And if being is supposedly so powerful, because it is a fractal of the source, why does it allow this to happen? Why does it not destroy it? What is the meaning of it all? Ah, and please don't tell me not to worry about these things. They are vitally important to me. From now on, thank you very much for your answer. A hug from Chile.
I wanted to quote all of his comments because I found them genuinely amusing. He's not the first, nor will he be the last, to ask me the same question. Where is the meaning in all of this? But the real answer cannot be found from the position of the ego. You must also observe from the position of the child, with curiosity, without judgment. I've already told you, the system feeds off your unconscious anger, and when you judge, even silently, you're still reinforcing the very illusion you claim to want to escape. You could answer now, I know, but I also know you're still digesting everything we've discussed. You want a solution, a path, a list, something to do. In the past, I might have given you exactly that, a list of steps, a spiritual to-do list. But if I do that again, you'll follow my words instead of your inner guide. So before I help you with the FOPs, I want to give an insight that might finally help you stop searching for answers in illusions, books, or the internet. There's a phrase I like.
I only know that I know nothing.
That is perfect. As an ego, you do not need to know anything, because as a being, you already know. That's the paradox. The greatest enemy of wisdom is the desire to know. I've told you before, stop looking for answers in the illusion. The one who is searching is the one you are not. So stop orienting yourself. Stop trying to find something. Instead, play life. It's the only way to truly live. A friend created the FOPs during a retreat in Basque Country, Spain. It is a straightforward guide that everyone can apply daily.
F equals fasting. Start with intermittent fasting and implement it. O equals observation, the proper form of meditation, and through reflection, reaches the cause of everything. P equals patience. Observe your impatience to achieve inner peace. S equals silence. It is essential to listen to yourself and avoid outside noise.
I never intended to write a theory, much less for you to have one more book in your library. Instead, I wanted to develop a guide to learn to doubt everything. I wanted to create a guide for you to recover your free will. The true will, of course, not choosing between what I'm going to eat or what I'm going to do. I hope that, with Liebert's research, it is clear to the vast majority that you all are robots. There is a beautiful saying by J.W. Goethe.
The best slave is who believes himself free.
I would change it to,
The best robot is the one that believes itself human.
you're not human. You're wearing a suit. The suit is called human, don't forget. Perspective.
Markus, what are you going to do now?
Markus,
You don't need to worry. With the information I've shared with you, you already have enough to keep you fully occupied and focused on yourself. However, you can always find out where there is a retreat or a talk if you want to attend one. As I've already told you, my primary focus now is not just organizing retreats for people to fast. Instead, we use retreats to prepare people to join a tribe or community so that we can begin to form a new old humanity. Of course, you can contact me through my page at the end of the book. You already know I am a wayfarer and that there is no path. The path is made by walking. Or, in Facundo Cabral's words,
I am not from here, I am not from there, like a bird flying in this paradise of illusion.
I only wish you the best in doing nothing, in selfless doing. Let yourself be surprised by the adventures that wait for you and return to the game of life as children teach us. Again, I want to quote Socrates' words using my interpretation.
To desire nothing is to be. Desiring as little as possible brings us closer to the perfection we are. The less physical being becomes, less ego, through conquering his desire, the less he needs. The less man needs, the closer he comes to the being who is part of the source, who uses nothing and is immortal.
I say goodbye with a poem by an Argentine friend who shared it with me, and I want to share it with you now.
Do what makes you be no one, where you are absent from all identity and all searches. Only there will the presence of the flow be permanent, of the coming and going of the true remain. The real, which dwells in the essence of you, essence stripped of all identity, who walks gently in a world full of shadows, full of rays, full of shades without nuances. Wayfarer is the one who travels without pretending to reach a destination. Wayfarer is the one who walks, letting his feet lead the way. Wayfarer is the one who walks without intervening in the roots of his journey. Wayfarer who goes like a shadow, like the silent wind, like the light that touches nothing, but it gets everywhere. With all the love, a friend.
By the way, you shouldn't have read this book.